So here we are again. Us Minnesota fighting Vikings fans know what it feels like to have a terrible round, get battered, but then you get yourself back off the canvas and you answer the bell for the next round. So here we go. Round 60 is going to be coming up for the Minnesota fighting Vikings. So great. Again, thank you very much for coming along to the channel. Big offseason. There is no offseason with the NFL. So here are 5 in-house roster moves the Vikings need to make this offseason. Now, we're talking about in-house. We're talking about the existing team. So we're not talking about draft all the offensive linemen, sign Darius Slay, sign everyone. Yeah, we'll get to all of that. So this is just in-house roster moves right now. So let's get into it. First off, cut XAVIER RHODES. Yeah, we knew that this is coming. Like, everyone knew that this is coming all season long. And frankly, I mean, it had been visited last offseason when XAVIER RHODES was on the trading block during the draft as well as free agency. And it is a kind of a sad fall from grace. 2017 All-Pro, and then the bank account caught the Holy Ghost. Then not so much. He has not lived up to his contract at all and gave up career highs in quarterback rating, touchdowns allowed with 5. Not great. Receiving yards, completion percentage, yards after catch, yada, yada, yada. Basically, every conceivable metric that you can put on XAVIER RHODES, he had a terrible year. And he's had back-to-back terrible years, and I think the bloom is off the rose. I don't really see him recovering anytime soon. And also, here's the killer. Here's the kill shot. His PFF coverage grade of 44.7, a robusto 44.7, was 180th graded cornerback in the NFL. 180. There's only 32 teams. That would be low for Division I college football, and there's like 100 teams. Great. And next year he counts $12.9 million against the cap in 2020. $4.8 million of that is dead, but sunk cost, whatever, frees up $8.1 million if they just cut XAVIER RHODES. No one's trading for that contract, so deuces. Cut it out. Nailed it. Next up, number 2 in-house roster move for the Minnesota Vikings. Cut Riley REIFF. Yeah, I said it. Minnesota Vikings paid a premium for Riley REIFF in 2017 when he came over from Detroit after playing right tackle there after getting replaced by, is it Taylor Decker? Yeah, because Luman's in Tennessee. There you go. And the Vikings, they couldn't get Russell Okung, so they're like, just overpay for Riley REIFF, right? The problem is you don't pay steak prices for hamburger, and Riley REIFF has been okay to average to below average, and that's what he's been. Right, and it counts $13.2 million against the 2020 cap with $4.4 million dead. That would free up $8.8 million if the Vikings moved on. Combined with RHODES, it equals a beep, bop, up, a boop, $16.9 million. Nice. And I understand the talking points. Well, are you going to do better? Are you really going to do better? You can't do worse. You may as well save yourself $8 million in the process, especially on a team that's going to be up against the salary cap, even though hashtag cap is a myth. Also want to be resigning a couple of key players. More on that in a second. And, frankly, consider moving Brian O'Neill over to left tackle. I know that's a big switch, as also as Vikings fans, as we know, for like Brandon Fusco, flip-flopping sides. A little bit tough to do, or use your first or second round pick on a left tackle project, groom the left tackle of the future on his rookie deal, or develop Oli Udoh, who was not given the time of day at all, even though you kept him on the 53-man roster. So lots of options to replace Riley REIFF, and frankly, you talk about replacing his leadership and all that stuff. I never saw Riley REIFF as a leader. They gave him the captaincy just because he was the veteran on this team when he came in 2017. Good rinse. Yeah. Say hi to Nick Bosa for me. Move number 3 in-house for the Minnesota fighting Vikings. Replace Pat ELFLEIN. Yeah, we're going O-line heavy here. He's on his rookie deal, so this isn't a financial decision, but he's been a liability all year. And as Vikings fans know, last 2 years where we made a decision and we're sticking to it. So 2 years ago, he was Tom Compton, BFF of Kirk Cousins, prior to Rosemont, just entrenched at left guard. And then also you have Mike Remmers, who's like, Mike Remmers is the right guard. We're not moving him. And then both were terrible all year. Pat ELFLEIN was bad. Josh Klein, respect, was very solid when he was in the lineup. But Pat ELFLEIN went from being one of the worst centers in the NFL to being one of the worst guards, especially in pass blocking. And he's lost. And yeah, it was an experiment that I personally thought could work out. It's like, all right, moving him away from the nose tackle, moving him where he's not flanked by Tom Compton and Mike Remmers. This could work out at left guard. And it didn't. It did not. Except the Vikings refused to acknowledge it. And, the experiment is over. Dakota Dozier or Brett Jones would have been better. Give Drew Samia, rookie 4th-round pick, the time of day for the love of God, or just go into the draft, right? Put the elf on the shelf and then burn that in the house. next. That might be a little far. All right, let the house go into foreclosure. There you go. All right, number 4 in-house move for the Minnesota Vikings, as I stammer, king speech. Extend Anthony Harris. One of the best young safeties in the NFL, is going to be a free agent, homegrown talent, and yeah, he's going to be expensive. We talked about last week. He is going to command that premier safety money, so it's going to be 12, 11, $13 million a year type range. Deservedly so. Deservedly so, because the Vikings know how good Anthony Harris is. Was tied for the lead this year in interceptions with 6, and also had that big pick against the Saints. Was a big catalyst in the wild card. So either extend him or franchise tag him. Just don't let 41 waltz out that door, because he's going to be a key piece as this Vikings defense starting to get a little bit long in the tooth. They're going to have a little bit of turnover. You need to keep Anthony Harris in place. Lastly, in-house move number 5. Speaking of long in the tooth. Retain EVERSON GRIFFEN. Yeah, that is right. Comeback player of the year in my book is going to be 33 years old. Hit contract incentives that allows him to opt out of his contract. Hopefully he and the Vikings decide to just strike up the band one more time, come to an agreement on something that's fair for both sides. And also, I mean, he had a phenomenal year. He had his second highest pressure season of his career with 70, as well as 11 sacks, including the playoff game, and he was just a wrecking ball against the Saints. He's one of the big reasons why the Vikings got it done down in NOLA. He is the true captain. He is the heart and soul of this defense and this team, and I want him to stay in purple for the rest of his career. So one more ride. Let's hook it up. Let's go again with 97. And that's it. That is 5 in-house roster moves for the Minnesota Vikings to make this offseason. What are your thoughts on the moves? Anyone you want to add? Again, this is in-house. This is not like draft free agency. This is in-house. So let us know in the comment section below. If you want to subscribe, if you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Plus, if you want to become a monthly Jerome, hit that join box down below. Join, find out how you can support this channel through the offseason, as well as into the season. Good times. There is no off-season football. And also give us a follow on social media. But until next time, Skull, production value.